Okay, welcome. Welcome. This is our Ashtanga Groove. We've got the hour together, and it takes the heart of Ashtanga and mixes up the sequence just a little or throws in a few variations of a pose. It's true to the nature of stay with the breath, focus your gaze, be in the moment, and celebrate being able to practice. This is my 15th, 15th, the last class here as Breathe starts to unwind and close its virtual doors to the classes that they've been running. I've been teaching for Breathe for 14 years, I believe. So let's take the heart to practice. I like a little warm up brief to start, and then we go. So meet me on the mat. I'm going to start with the warm up for the front of the thigh. So for the quads, for the hip flexors that sometimes get more work than some other parts of us. If you like to use props, do bring them. Just because I don't demonstrate with them doesn't mean anything. Always listen to your own wisdom. So I'm in a tabletop here. I'm going to start with the cat-cow for the spine. The inhale, the hips backing up, the chest forward and up. It's like open the heart energy, lift the gaze, be optimistic, and exhale, head down, tail down, navel to spine, stretch the spine, and do two more, focusing on the breath. Inhale, takes the whole beautiful inhale to create this rather playful shape, and exhale. So we're working with opposition here between flexion and extension. One more, in. Fill her up, fuel her up, and let go of anything you don't need to practice. And then we come to a regular tabletop. When I come just forward, here's right leg lunging forward. I'm going to curl over back toes and take it into a low lunge. And I'm just going to rock a little bit forward so I get some of the ankle joint happening. So as I rock forward, I'm a little bit more stretching out the back toes. And when I rock back, I'm going to lift up the ball of the foot just a little, different angle, different effect on the stretch. And I'm mindful of the breath, but I'm not necessarily coordinating it with the movement. I'm just focusing on the stretch. And I might find after I've gone a few of these, especially with the lifting of the front foot, so I'm just on the heel, I might be inclined to take a hand on either side of the foot for a little bit more balance and bend the back knee for a bigger hamstring stretch, and then come forward and get the quad stretch. So try 2 or 3 more of these. Often the body will inform you in your practice what it wants to do, as if it's running its own little autopilot. Bring that down, twirl that leg around, step the other one forward, lift up the back leg. You're kicking out through the heel. You've got a really nice long stride happening right here. I feel a quad stretch and the calf stretch, actually. And you can stay in stillness or you can rock it forward a little. And when I rock it back, I'm going to lift and leave the heel down, pull up the ball of the foot. Not necessarily linking with breath, just more interested in this moment in the physical body. And then we might just take the hand on the other side and bend the back knee a little bit. Sort of, you know how warm-ups happen? The body goes, oh, let's try this. It's more intuitive warm-up. One more. And then bring yourself tabletop so that you can walk the knees back a little bit. So the knees are a little bit back from the hips. Lift, lean forward so you're not on kneecap, you're more on low thigh. And take an inhale here and bend the elbows towards the back of the mat. Exhale, come down a little tricep dip. Inhale, push up. Exhale, pull the navel in so you're controlling Uddiyana. Exhale. Do one more. Coming on down. Pushing back up. And then coming and finding your dog. Good day, downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You might walk it out a little. Play it around a little. Bring yourself forward into high plank. Come down into a chaturanga. Inhale into an upward dog, and exhale, pull back to downward dog. Look forward to the hands, step the feet forward to the hands, big toes together. Exhale, fold in, grab an alternate elbow and have a little dangle. Let the head be heavy. Let there be this inward gazing, this gathering of energy into the moment. Release the arms down, and slowly as the feet press, you come back up to equal standing. How'd that happen? Sorry, just had to adjust the camera. Always check these things before. It's like I grew somehow. Okay. Samastitihi, please. Now take a moment and feel where you're at. Notice the energy that you brought to the mat. Notice the emotional landscape you might have brought. Start to connect with the breath, mindful breathing, Ujjayi if you know it. Feel that you're also connected to the earth through the feet and to the sky through the crown of the head. It's nice to tap in at the beginning of practice to know what you brought to practice, to see what it feels like. At the end of practice, you got some evidence as to why you would put your time into this. Okay, let's get really classical before we groove it up and do 2 Surya Namaskara A's. The only thing that we change here for time is it's a 3 count when we're in downward dog as opposed to a 5. Release the arms down. Hallelujah, we start again together. Inhale, the arms lift, the gaze follows drishti up towards the hands. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, walk or hop yourself back, modify as you need. This could be knees, chin, chest. Inhale, this could be cobra. Listen to your own wisdom. Back into the still point, and 1, gazing towards the toes. 2, settling the mind into the moment with the breath. And 3. Look forward, let the inhale walk or hop the feet forward, still early in practice, pay attention to that. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up, let it be a collaboration, the body and your will. Again, inhale, look up, exhale, bow to the earth. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, lower. Inhale, open the heart and lift the gaze. Exhale, come back to stillness. 1, just here, just now. 2, enjoying the felt sense in the body. 3, and the breath fueling you and keeping you in the here and now. Looking forward to the hands. Inhale, forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up like the sun. Exhale, samastitihi. Okay, now variant on Surya AB. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, lengthen. Now it's my left leg that goes back to that runner's lunge. Puts the knee down and inhales into a kneeling warrior. I've got a right leg forward, so I'm going to let the right arm come forward in a version of warrior 2, kneeling. And then inhale, arms up. Exhale, step it back and lower. Inhale. Exhale. Look forward to the hands and inhale yourself forward. Exhale, bow to the earth. Inhale, rise. Exhale, go straight back down. It's going to be the right leg stepping back. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Knees bend, hands flat. Long runner's lunge right. Knee down. Inhale, kneeling warrior 1. Left leg is forward, left arm comes forward, version warrior 2. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, stretch the breath to take you to chaturanga. Inhale. Oh, I love this stretch. Exhale, back to the dog. Look forward, inhale forward, your way, step or hop. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, moving with the breath. Exhale. Traditional Surya B, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, lowering your way. Inhale. Exhale. Now, technically, you're still exhaling as you lift the right, lunge it, and become warrior one. Exhale. One of my favorite parts is this riding the breath, stretching the breath down. Inhale. Comes like meditation in motion. Left leg lifting, lunging. The inhale is the rising force. Exhale. Coming down, chaturanga, remember, modifying as feels right into your body. And exhale, a still point here for 3 breaths. 1, steady the edges of your breath. 2, and 3. Look forward to the hands, a little navel to spine sometimes helps. The hopping forward, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, come fierce pose, Utkatasana. And come all the way back, Samastitihi. Now bend the knees, come Utkatasana, some groovy stuff. Left elbow, side prayer, pouring your chest towards the prayer. Gaze is central. Outer leg left is lunging back to a crescent prayer side. There we go. Open up now, make these arms long, one to the earth, one to the sky. And then let the hands touch down, step yourself back and lower. Inhale, open, exhale, and close. Lift the right leg up, lunge it. Rise it, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, lower it. Inhale. Exhale, back to the dog. And 3 breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. Look forward, navel to spine, hop it, walk it. Exhale. Bend the knees, come back, fierce pose, Utkatasana. Now side prayer, right elbows coming across. Chest is moving, it's heart energy into the prayer. Open up, longer levers of the arms, help the twist. And then coming back to the prayer. Right leg, taking it back to a crescent lunge, side prayer. Good. Now, hands come down, step it back and lower. Inhale. Exhale back to the dog. Okay, left leg lifting, lunging, rising on the force of a defender. Exhale, coming down in the moment with the breath and back to the still point. 1, how are you feeling now? 2, lighter, softer, stronger, freer. 1 more. 3. Look forward to the hands, walk or hop your feet forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, come Utkatasana. And then power yourself to stand, Samastitihi. Hands on the hips and hop the feet hip width wide. Ashtanga has this lovely humor in a lot of its poses. Heart lifts, even though it's functionally useful, folding forward. Could you put your hastas under your padas? So your hands under your feet. And it's quite the nice forearm stretch. Unshrug the shoulders away from the ears. Contain your energy in this pose. 1, 2, unshrug the shoulders. They want to come towards the ears. And 3. Only in Ashtanga do you do this funky stuff. Release the hands to the hip crease. And inhale, rise back up, step or hop back, touch into the present moment just to check. How do you feel now? Okay. Settle the edges of the breath. Let's use the right foot to step to the back of the mat for triangle pose Trikonasana. Come, I love this part. It's like canoe on water. This long horizontal line, all this architecture, all this linear line, side body towards the sky, one arm holding earth to sky. And here again, it's 3 breaths. 1, every exhale, helping the rotation of the spine. 2, and 3. Push down into the feet. So inhale rises you up. And lift the toes, pivot, lift the toes, pivot, the Ashtanga dance. Take it out, canoe. Let the arm come down. Find that first spinal rotation. Hold earth to sky. Drishti toe or up drift arm. 1. Let every breath build the pose. 2. And 3. Exhale, looks down. Inhale, pushes feet down, rising up. Lift the toes, pivot, lift the toes, pivot. Similar organization of body parts now. Ardha Chandrasana, getting groovy in the Ashtanga sequence. Bend the front knee, cupping the front fingers, fingertips underneath shoulder cap, lifting up back foot. Holding on to a sky hook. 1, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. 2, nothing like balance to bring you into the present moment. And 3. As you exhale, bend your standing knee and take both hands down flat. Hop it back and leave the leg lifted as you lower. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back to the dog. Looking forward to come forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, presses down to rise up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Let's see that on the other side. As you step and find the pivot, we had our Trikonasana. Now we've got our Ardha Chandrasana, hand down, lifting the back leg. Here I've got a right hand that can tell me where my right leg is as far as height goes. Holding onto the sky hook helps the rotation of the spine. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to bend my standing knee so that the hands can come down flat in a weight-bearing way. And hop or walk myself back, leave the leg lifted or not as I lower. Inhale. Exhale. And right as we come back to the dog, navel to spine, inhale forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Let's find a revolved triangle, Parvati Trikonasana. Step it, pivot it, and square the hips. So I just drew the right hip back. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, cast it across the lead leg. Inhale, let the spine get horizontally long. You can keep the hand right parked here or use the longer lever to assist in the twist. 1, every exhale is a rotation. 2, every inhale is a horizontal length. And 3. Exhale, look down, push the feet down. Feel like the inner thighs are somewhat magnetized. It's a fairly narrow stride. Pivot yourself around and you can be flurry with the arms if you like. Find the foundational squareness of the hips. I just pulled the left hip back and exhale. Here comes the first cast out for length of the spine. Inhale, here's horizontal length, trying to put the tail at one end and crown of the head at the other. Keep the window dressing arm here or up in longer lever. 1, Exhale. 2. Exhale. And 3. Let exhale, look down. Inhale, push down to rise up. And lift the toes, pivot, lift the toes, pivot. Find that square hip again. Take the arms around, find a reverse prayer or alternate elbow, whichever one you like. And lay your torso over your lead leg, stilling your mind by setting your gaze towards the lovely big toe. 1, 2, and 3. Inhale, rise up. Now let's make another variant here. Take your back prayer towards a forward prayer. Bend the front knee, lift the back heel, pivot on the ball of the foot, and come into a version of Warrior 3 that's got a slight softness in the knee. It's like the torso tips down and the back leg lifts up. Overpress the prayer. Sometimes that helps with balance. 1, 2, and 3. Now, can you bend that standing knee a little bit more to get the hands flat? You can do the one leg hop back, or you can step back to the dog, whatever feels right to you. And you can keep the leg lifted or not as you lower. You're making the practice your own. And coming back, still point here, but not for long. Look forward to the hands. Inhale, forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, back to still point. Okay, so let's see that on the other side. Here comes left leg. Takes it around, finds the square hips on the narrow stride like train tracks of the Parvritti Trikonasana. Takes a reverse prayer or opposite elbow and folds you forward. So actually this is a pose that usually appears a little further downstream. 1, 2, lovely combination of moving into stillness. 3. Inhale, rise up. And take the prayer or the arms behind to a prayer in front, a Warrior 3 with a softly flexed knee. Tipping forward, lifting back heel, pivoting those back toes forward. I'm going to drop the torso as the leg lifts, sort of a teeter-totter thing. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to bend the knee a little bit more to get the hands flat so they can weight bear. And you could step back to the dog, or you can do a hop back, however you like to do it. Stay with whatever feels right to you. Flow back to our friend, the best dog, and looking forward to the hands. Inhale, forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samastitihi. Take a moment here in Samastitihi, hands wherever they feel most appropriate to you. Feel the rhythm of the heart. Feel the temperature of the body. Perhaps feel into the color of the emotional landscape. And notice if the practice so far has had any change on the way you felt when you first stood in the first part of Samastitihi today. Okay, we're going to go to extended side angle Parsvakonasana. Take this right leg and make it a good long lunge. And we'll start forearm on thigh. And we'll find side seam of body towards the ceiling. And the back arm comes up and over the ear and the chin nods down and a little bit of Jalandhara Bandha. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to lift this low forearm that's resting on the thigh, straighten its elbow, frame the ears. 1. A lot of forward weight with the arms. 2. And 3. And push down into the feet, wave the body up, lift the toes, pivot, lift the toes, pivot. Come into the lunge of extended side angle, modification with the forearm on the thigh, rotation of the spine, side body towards the ceiling, back arm up and over the ear, both shoulders unshrugging, chin a little tucked down. 1, give the weight of the body to the lunge, try not to hold it back. 2, use the 4 corners of the feet. And 3. Hold the low body, make the only change the lift of the forearm, the straightening of that, the unshrugging of the shoulder caps, the long arms in front for 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Push into the feet to rise the body up. Lift the toes, pivot, lift the toes, pivot. Come now down on the back knee. So I'm going to lift back heel, pivot on the ball of the foot, and bring the back knee down. Side prayer. Here's my right leg. Here comes left arm up. Version of Parvati Parshvakonasana. Lift up the back knee now and work your prayer, your heart into your prayer. 1. Yoga has so many beautiful images. 2. And 3. Now let's just do a little add on here. I'm going to take my torso, my chest bone, back to face over the lead leg. And as in Parshvakonasana, we're going to modify the arms. 3 here. 1, 2, and 3. And take the hands down, step back to the dog and stay, or come on through this sort of rinse. Coming back to meet at the dog, to look forward, to inhale the feet forward, navel to spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, energy rises. Exhale, stillness holds. Let's see that on the other side now. So here comes left leg, coming around, bending the knee, lifting the back heel, pivoting around, bringing that back knee down. Inhale, right arm is lifting. Exhale, here we go again, pouring the heart into the prayer. And you can stay with the knee down, or you can lift and lengthen. Modification on Parvati Parshvakonasana. 1, 2. Do you feel how you're kicking out through the back heel to magnify the stretch of that leg? And 3. Now, the prayer releases, the chest places its heart on top of the thigh or holds it for more energy. And the long levered arms are forward with the shoulder blades unshrugging. 3 breaths here. 1, really kicking out through the back heel. 2, trying to keep the hips square. You feel left hip draw back, right hip draw a little forward. And 3, tricky balance down here. And release the hands down, step yourself to the dog or come through the vinyasa. We meet back at the dog, we look forward, inhale forward. Exhale and fold in. Inhale, rise. Exhale back home to Samastitihi. Step wide now. We got lots of different Prasarita Padotanasanas to choose with. Kind of like the one where we take the peace fingers, loop around the big toes, Feel like we're pulling toes forward and elbows out to the side. Inhale, I'm lifting, lengthening up the torso. Exhale, the fold, I feel is like lead with your heart, lead with your chest bone, not with your head. And then let your 2-piece fingers latch around each big toe. I'm trying to pull these toes towards this long end of the mat. And at the same time, take the elbow points out to the short end with the head heavy. Notice how gravity's got your shoulder caps up around your ears. Unshrug. 1. Use navel to spine on the exhale. 2. And 3. Exhale the hands back to the hip crease. Take a lovely, long, mindful inhale to rise. And exhale, release the arms down. Take the arms out wide. Another favorite one is the interlace of the fingers behind, the squeezing of the shoulder blades. And again, leading with the heart energy rather than the mind, the eyes, the face, the head. Leading with the heart, fold it in. Leave the arms down if you like, or lift them up if you like. What feels right and appropriate to you is always the question. 1, 2, and 3. Always a very mindful inhale when you rise, and releasing that down. Bring the heels in and shorten the stride a little bit so we can sort of sit in cowboy pose, or as it's also known, horse stance. Got the heel of my hand in the hip crease to try to help that, trying not to lean forward, trying to be as vertical as possible. And a little bit of a stretch going on the inner thigh. Come do an eagle with me. So we're taking the arms out as if you're putting an eagle on your horse. This is a classic. Here comes right arm across, and many love the bear hug version or the eagle. Sit just a little lower with a little bit of a tail tuck. 1, 2, might you sit a little lower? And 3. Now we're going to eagle the other way, undo the arms. Let the other arm come on top. And again, bear hug is beautiful as well, or eagle, your choice of being. And sit your lowest. Try not to lean forward with the spine. 1, 2, good. And 3. Push mightily down in the feet to rise up. And releasing the arms. You step yourself back, Samastitihi. Just before we go into the balance sequence, let's do a little version of Surya A. So set for a moment. Feel the way that you're standing and connecting with the feet. Be aware that there could be a little squeeze to midline of the inner thighs, a little Mula Bandha, pelvic floor lift. Perhaps the lightest of tail tuck, the lift of the spine, the settling of the breath, the slight pulling the shoulder girdle back and down. Okay, so we'll do a Sun A that's just got some side planks in it. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Sure does feel different than the first one. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Now the feet are together. It's like the legs have just been zipped up with a zipper on the inline. Twirling over to the baby toe side left. Trying to stack my shoulder cap left over the left wrist. Kicking out through the heels. Now remember, when we were in Samastitihi, we had all this talk about feeling how the 4 corners of the feet are pressing down, how the inner legs feel a little zipped up or magnetized, how the pelvic floor is a little lifted, how there's a little bit of a tail tuck. how there's a lengthening of the spine and an unshrugging of the shoulder girdle, but we're going to hold on to a sky hook. So same setup, just different relationship to gravity. 3 more breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. Exhale to bring yourself back to the dog. And let's see it all on the other side. It's like samastitihi, just in a different plane. Stacking the feet, you can also step a foot forward. That's also a version. Particularly though, do pay attention to the right shoulder cap being over the wrist, just for, best shoulder health. Use all the zip up, tail tuck, navel in, long spine, la la la. And here we go. 1, I'm really kicking out through my heels here, pulling back the toes. 2, very mindful of the energetic locks. And hallelujah, 3. Take yourself now back to the dog. Take it through a chaturanga, and inhale up dog, and exhale down. And look forward to the hands, walk or hop your feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, samastitihi. Okay, Utthita Hastapad I should really be doing this like every hour some days. So feel free to use a wall, and I might as well. Just do the one where we take the leg out into flexion. Mindful of standing on the left, good 4-corner foot, no hanging out in the hip. A lot of engagement of various muscles like we saw just a moment ago. And where do you want to go with this? Do you want to take your right hand to your right knee? Many days, I'm really delighted just to get this far. Or you're going to peace finger around the big toe and be here. Or are you going to extend out with the heel kicking and the hand pulling? 1, 2, and 3. And when you let go of whatever you're holding, slowly let it release back to your starting point. If you have a busy mind, how long did that take? Like Zippo time? Try inserting this throughout your day. It really seems to reset, refocus. Stay with the breath. Some days, not enough sleep, or many different reasons. Balance is quite elusive. That's why we try to do it every day. Peace fingering, or however you're going to hold. Being here, or the technique is to kick out through the heel and pull back through the hand. 1, 2, and 3. Release and do your best to let it slowly lower down. Hula hoop out the hips a little. Come back to stand at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Look forward to the hands, walk or hop, and have yourself a seat. Come Dandasana. Such a busy pose, Dandasana. Looks like you're doing nothing. Kicking out through the heels, pulling back through the toes, zipping, magnifying, and magnetizing inner thighs. Sitting bones press, spine lifts, shoulders sort of have a tendency to roll forward, roll them back to neutral, squeeze shoulder blades to keep them there. Kick out through the heel of the hand for extension. Jalandhara Bandha. Mula Bandha, pelvic floor lift. Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine. Jalandhara, throat lock. Contain your energy, everything you've stoked so far. 1, 2, 3. Now 3 breaths. We'll take it into the Pachimo, but I'd like interlace fingers behind. Inhale and exhale, fold. 1, 2, 3. Now inhale, come up and use your left arm to slide down the right side of the leg. So I'm looking for a twist in the Pachimo. And I'm going to use my right arm that matches the right leg. So it's going back and this one's coming. We saw warriors like this earlier. And I'm coming down this way. So it's a forward fold with the technique of pushing against the leg to facilitate a twist. I'd say take a little Jalandhara Bandha, chin down, and 3 breaths here where every exhale is mindful of the rotation of the spine. 1, without losing all that stuff with the legs together. 2, and 3. Now we're going to inhale and let the arms come back up to center. So now I'm going to use a right arm. So here's the beginning of the twist. I'm going to use the back of the hand or the back of the arm to push against the leg to facilitate the twist. And as this arm, low arm goes forward, the other arm goes back, helping the twist. Exhale, take it into the first place. 1, exhale. 2, exhale. And 3, exhale. Now inhale, sit up and let both arms flourish up. And come into more of the classic where you might latch onto big toes or wrap your hands around the feet. And shrug the shoulders away from the ears. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, sit up, cross the ankles. You can sit in meditation or you can choose to do a pickup jump back. We'll all meet back at the same place. So listen to what feels right to you as we all come back to sit. Can we come into a reverse tabletop? So feet hip width wide, hands back behind, elbows pointing towards the back, short end of the mat, and lift up. I've got Jalandhara Bandha, my head weight is forward, pushing down into the feet, squeezing the shoulder blades, feeling the hands and the feet in particular, the 4 corners. 1, 2, and 3. Now keep your head where it's at, but do allow the buttock to come down to the mat. Purvottanasana, straighten out the legs. Keep the head weight forward and lift. 1, reaching out through the toes. And 2, zipping up the inline of the legs, engaging the glutes. And 3, squeezing the shoulder blades to open the heart. Exhale, come down, cross the ankles. There's also the option of doing these little tricep lifts, dips, or whatever. You can do that. You can sit in meditation, or you can do the more classical pick up and jump back and chaturanga for the millionth time again. Coming back. And we all meet back at seated. Come now, Triang Mukha, Ekapada Paschimottanasana, left leg straight. Right knee is fully flexed. There's about a hand's width between. And coming forward, wrapping around, folding in. 1. My inner thigh really loves this right side of my rib cage. 2. Don't forget about details like the straight legs foot. And 3. Inhale, sit up, release, and swap over to the other side. Kicking out through the heel of the straight leg, about a hand's width between the two of them. Coming in, wrapping around, holding on to clothing is good. Some people have longer arms, so there's always a reason why some people have a real easy time with some stuff and not so easy with others. 1. But make yourself small. Let your left inner thigh hug the rib cage. 2, squeeze the shoulder blades together to help position the arms. And 3. Good. Release that. And just straighten out that leg, sort of shimmy them out, bang them out, drum them out a little bit. Okay, so now could we come into, I'm just trying to decide which side, the right leg could be in Janu Shirshasana A, seated tree pose as it were, or it could be in a half bound lotus, which is also a version in the primary sequence. Do you have a preference? Pick one, bound or otherwise, and fold yourself in. 1, 2, and 3. All right, inhale, rise up. So very much like versions of tree pose, Vrikshasana. Here I could be like this and in, or maybe lotus feels right to me today. Could be something on both on the same way, both sides, or a modification or a different flavor on the other leg if it serves. 1, 2, and 3. And inhale, sit yourself up and come Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, pubic bone fairly close towards the feet. Hands, thumbs on the balls of the feet. Rest of the hand over the top of the foot. Sitting up nice and tall. There's different versions. There's a fold forward and a vertical spine with a little Jalandhara. Let's do that one. 1, I feel my feet pressing against each other. 2, the sitting bones pressing and the spine lifting. And 3. Now let's make a change to fire log, where I'm going to take this left leg, the shin, try to make it parallel to the short end of the mat, and then try to put the other guy on top, roughly speaking. All right, so it's not quite like sitting crossed ankled where the feet are closer to the pubic. This is more like 2 pigeons in 1. Fold yourself forward, maybe coming down onto forearms or holding up the chin. 1, expect to feel a stretch in the side and the back part of the hip. 2, and 3. Inhale, sit yourself up and stack your fire logs the other way. So whatever leg's on top now, that shin is coming more or less in line with the short edge of the mat. And the other guy is trying to sit more or less on top. I am kicking out through both heels and pulling back through the toes, just because some people with more laxity in the ligaments of the ankle can easily sickle the ankle, like sort of flop it in, which isn't a great thing for the ankle. So pulled in, use your feet wisely as you need. You can take the arms forward. That's going to make the stretch more so. And sometimes if you can get elbows down, you can hold your head up. 1, 2, and 3. So of course, if we've been doing all this, there must be a pigeon downstream. Inhale, sit yourself up, something that's not typically in the Ashtanga. And cross the ankles. We're going to have to get ourselves to downward dog one way or the other. Okay, so let's just get to the dog. All right, here comes right leg lifting. My right knee is going to head towards the heel of the thumb right. I'm going to slither the back leg back. Sometimes I can get the right hip down, sometimes not. That's okay. Either way, it's a stretch. And let's take it into a little bit of a twist. So here's the right leg, but I'd like to rotate the spine and arms towards the left. It's just fascially creates a little bit of a pull, a different sensation, a deeper stretch for some. I'm going to take myself over to wherever over is, and I could come down onto forearms, or again, I could hold up my head. Often you'll see teachers holding up their head, especially if they're wearing ear gear to improve sound because it sort of makes a mess of the sound. One. It's always good to hold your head high. Two. I know it's really a tease when you're only here for 3 breaths, but make them good ones. 3. All right, well, you know what? We'll make it 6. Can you come back to center and spread the arms out? Maybe rest on your forehead on forearms. 1, 2, 3. Good. Inhale, bring yourself back up to and find your way back to downward dog. You might want to pedal out the feet or the knees a little bit. And from our beloved dog, then you're going to lift up left leg. You're going to bend the knee. You're going to aim it. You're going to slither back. So I aimed my left knee in the direction of the left heel of my hand and made the stride back long on the top of the right foot. I'm going to walk the hands over now away from the left leg to make the twist of the spine, because lots of stuff crosses joints. And that's how we get a deeper sensation of stretch. And I might just hold up my head here. Sorry for turning my back to you. 1, 2, and 3. We brought ourselves back to the neutral spine and took 3 more breaths in any way of coming forward this way. Okay, I could hold up my forehead. I could cup my chin. I could cross my forearms and rest my forehead. 1. It is kind of a sweet stretch, isn't it? 2. Don't waste energy on hiked up shoulders. Sometimes that happens when you use your arms to position into a pose. And 3. Good. Now, instead of going through a vinyasa, I'd just like to come up to my hands and take the back leg forward. Keep now left leg forward and cradle the baby right. I'm coming under the calf with the right hand, and I'm using the left hand to cup the heel. And I'm just going to stir it up a little bit. Still looks a little bit like a pigeon, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, very actively bolted this left leg towards the floor. I got my head weight forward. We're going to roll down. As slow as we can. I thought it'd be really nice if we could wonder if 1 vertebrae at a time could come down. Maybe. Teachers keep telling me it's possible, but they keep on changing how many times you've got to do it. Started really simple, which I thought was possible, like 2000. And it's gone up in magnitude. Different teachers, head down. Oh, that was, and all that just to get down so that we would come up again? Yes. Lift your head, tuck your chin. Navel to spine, use the straight leg. That doesn't seem to be such a big player, but it is. A little momentum sometimes helps. Come on up with a sense of humor, because there is always this stuck point. But I tell you, if you do it every day, it does help. If you don't do it every day, it seems to disappear. Such is life. Okay. Twirl it out a little bit so that the head of the leg bone, the femur, is just sort of going around in the socket a little bit. And then hold, activate the bolted other leg. Keep your head weight forward. It's better for the neck. It helps slow your descent. And really feel navel to spine, calling all navels to spine. Sometimes one side is different, probably because any like very slight scoliosis of the spine, I would imagine. Come on down. Could we stay down? No, got to come back up. Lift your head, tuck your chin, and come up against gravity. Be persistent. Coming on up. And releasing. Do a little bit of drumming out of the legs. Literally drumming, so little light fists on the tops or on the sides are coming on down and getting into the groove. Have you been missing live music and things like that? This is what happens. 2 years with no live music. Drives some of us a little nuts. Yeah, so we find a way. And then stop. Good. All right. Now, come sit yourself into whatever you like. Maybe it's cross-ankled or maybe it's a full lotus. See what feels right to you. I'm going to come just a little bit closer. All right. I got a little blanket here that I can sit on rather than the floor. So be nice to yourself. You know, things have been pretty Spartan for a very long time. So a blanket can make a difference. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit in lotus. Find the four corners of your seat in whatever way you're sitting. Good. Start a little rock back and forth just to find it. Little whirlpool rock where you take your hands on either knee and do a little bit of a circling of the spine. So it's almost like, so we got a lateral flexion, forward flexion, lateral flexion, and backstroke. And just go around. Really nice how yoga manages, and many other movement therapies, manages to make something feel really cool and soothing and really, you know, anatomically it's wise. Come around the other way. It's almost like they knew how to release endorphins and feel good chemicals that naturally happen with, you know, physical movement, but they do also things that are just sweet like this. Bring yourself back. Now find those sitting bones. All right, dim your eyes or close your eyes and imagine you're in your favorite forest. I think everyone has one. Maybe some of you folks out there in the junction have, of course, the fabulous High Park, but maybe you've got other places. Put yourself there. Put yourself and plant yourself there. Perhaps plant yourself as a trillium or one of your favorite little forest flowers or little trees, and really feel the sitting bones are part of the roots, and you're laying your roots down so that you can commingle with all that make up the forest. Feel that there is that lovely anchoring. We know that feeling whenever we are out walking, just the way our feet press. Let your sitting bones press. Let there be that sense of laying roots down into that community. And what happens then when you're fed by community, then there is the upsprout, the lift of the spine, the growth upwards towards the light, to be able to touch the light, nourished by the light. And feel that that light partly is at the chest center and that it's also a portal at the top of the head. And feel the way the breath is breathing you now, and see if you might dance with it. Lead the dance just a little. Make the inhale and exhale maybe a beat or two longer. Like you're just evening out the edges and you want to just nourish yourself Nourish yourself with the sense of the forest and nourish yourself by taking in, by feeling the effective practice. Gives you a little bit of resilience. Where's the mood now compared to when you started? How's it feel to inhabit this temple now that you've had time at the end of practice? Was it a good investment of your time? This is where I'm going to leave you. So you might sit, breathe a little pranayama. Maybe there's a pose that you just love so much you want to do after. And a little bit of shavasana is a marination. It's like so valuable. Find a way, either through seated meditation, pranayama, or shavasana, to marinate in the overall effect of your practice. And we'll be back again. And you know how to contact Breathe too, if there are things that you want or you don't want anymore in this practice. It's always my joy to be here with you. Thank you for making my day.